We've got a think tank named Urban-Brookings Tax Policy Center. So they're supposed to be nominally liberals. I got interesting news for you guys. This is the stuff that they never tell you anywhere else. These think tanks are funded largely by millionaires. So a think tank, you know what that is? That's a bunch of so-called experts sitting in Washington coming up with reports and policy papers. Do you give money for that? Almost never, right? Who gives money for that? Who pays all their salaries? People who have a vested interest in the reports that come out. So that's overwhelmingly true for the conservative think tanks. They're all funded by millionaires and billionaires, and all their reports say, shockingly, that we should give tax cuts to millionaires and billionaires. Now, a lot of you think, oh, well, the liberal groups are better. Sometimes, on some issues. No, the liberal groups are not as bigoted as the conservative groups, but a lot of the people on their boards and a lot of their donors are also millionaires and billionaires. They're generally better guys than the other side, but they also have a vested interest even if they don't realize it. So why do I tell you this in the context of the Urban-Brookings Tax Policy Center? Because they put out this report back in March when it was very relevant to the primary race between Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton. So let's find out what it was. Let's go to The Hill. The Hill reports, TPC, that's the Tax Policy Center, in March estimated that Sanders' tax plan would raise $15.3 trillion over 10 years. Everyone would pay more taxes under his plan, and most of the new revenue would come from the wealthy. Wow, if you just saw that, you'd be like, wow, oh my God, he's going to raise taxes by $15 trillion. Wow, that sounds dangerous. Okay, well, esteemed think tank, nice job. Well, hold. The Hill says the Sanders campaign complained that TPC's tax analysis was, quote, inaccurate and one-sided because it did not look at the benefits that people would receive from the candidate's spending proposals. Now, that couldn't be true. I mean, these guys, their whole job is to sit around and think all day, right? That's why it's called a think tank. You're telling me you wrote a whole paper and you didn't think, oh, here are the downsides. Oh, the upsides, it didn't even occur to me. It turns out, no, the Sanders campaign was right. The director for the think tank, Len Berman, thought that the Sanders campaign had a point. Yeah, you think? You think they might have had a point? Okay, the center's latest analysis now looks at who wins and who loses once Sanders' new government benefits are taken into account as well. Now, isn't this frickin' convenient? In the heat of the primaries, they do a completely one-sided report that goes, oh my God, look at this socialist Bernie Sanders raising taxes by $15 trillion. Benefits, I've never heard of benefits. I don't know what you're talking about. Never even occurred to me. Well, I guess every genius at this Tax Policy Center should be fired for not considering the benefits as well. Like the most fundamental, obvious thing that you would include in a report like that. Now that the primaries are almost over, they go, oh, right. No. We're not biased. We're not pro-Hillary Clinton. We're not pro the millionaires who fund us and Hillary Clinton at the same time. No, we'll do the full analysis now that it's almost irrelevant. Oh, thank you so much. TPC found, when they did their full analysis, that the average tax burden would increase by about $9,000 in 2017. But the average amount of benefits would increase by more than $13,000. As a result, households would on average receive a net income gain of almost $4,300 under Sanders' proposals, TPC said. Oh, did we forget to tell you that after the $9,000 in taxes, you'd actually get $13,000 in benefits? So Bernie Sanders' proposals would actually massively help you? Oops! I guess we forgot to tell you that until it was nearly irrelevant. Oh, golly gee willikers, what a mistake we made. Mistake. Len Berman, again, the director of the group, says, quote, we have never seen a proposal as progressive as Sanders. I wonder if that's why he was so popular in a Democratic primary without any of you guys, if not just helping him, but every single one of you working against him in the establishment. But they also say, for most households, their final conclusion is additional government benefits would more than offset the tax increases. In other words, yeah, our first report was completely and utterly misleading. It made you think that you were going to lose $9,000, and in fact, you were going to gain $4,300. Ha ha! That hatcheted Bernie Sanders back, partly thanks to the Urban-Brookings Tax Policy Center, funded by millionaires and billionaires. I like how liberal and progressive they are. They're the guys who attacked the plan they called the most progressive. Gee, I wonder why nobody trusts anyone in Washington. I can't quite tell. Young Turks.